My name is the Tales Keeper, and tonight's bedtime horror is not for the faint of heart. These aren't just ghost stories. These are confessions, real tales from the night shift. So lock the doors, because these 6 security guards never looked at their job the same again. I worked the night shift at a hospital downtown. Nothing fancy, just quiet halls, flickering lights, and the soft hum of machines echoing through the corridors. Most nights I drank coffee, watched monitors, and made rounds. Nothing ever happened, until the elevator started acting weird. At exactly 3:07 a.m., every night for 3 weeks, it would descend from the 7th floor, then go back up. No one pressed the button, no one got in. It just moved, up and down, again and again. I checked the security footage. Floor 7. That floor had been shut down for renovations, sealed off. But on camera, I saw her, a woman, long hair, wearing a hospital gown, just standing inside the elevator, never moved, never looked up. She would ride it down. And when the doors opened in the lobby, she was gone. I thought it was a glitch. I even laughed it off. Until one night I decided to go up myself. I took the stairs, flashlight in hand. When I reached the 7th floor, the elevator doors were already open, humming softly. No one inside. But as I stepped into the hallway, it went cold. Not just chilly, dead cold. The kind that makes your breath visible. The kind that makes you feel watched. Down the hallway, under the flickering exit sign, she stood. Same gown, same hair, bare feet on tile. She didn't move, but somehow I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. I turned to leave, but the elevator had vanished. Not the doors, the whole shaft, just drywall, like it had never existed. I ran, all the way down the stairwell, barely breathing. When I got to the lobby, the elevator stood there like nothing happened. Open, empty. I handed in my resignation the next morning. 2 weeks later, a nurse told me no one had touched the 7th floor in months. But late at night, patients still report hearing it. Ding. Opening on a floor that no longer exists. I used to work the graveyard shift at a corporate office tower downtown. 20 stories of glass, steel, and artificial light. Clean, modern, and completely lifeless after 8 p.m. My post was in the front lobby. Behind the reception desk was a massive wall of glass, stretching from floor to ceiling. From my chair, I could see the entire lobby's reflection, an eerie mirror of the empty world behind me. And that's when I saw him. It started small. At 2:33 a.m. every night for a week, a figure would appear in the reflection, walking behind the glass, tall, hunched, wearing what looked like an old-style business suit. I never saw his face, just a shape, slowly pacing back and forth like he was lost. But here's the thing, there's nothing behind that glass. Just a concrete wall, no hallway, no lights, no reason to see anything there. At first I thought it was a trick of the lighting or fatigue, but it kept happening. I told maintenance. They checked for double glass, mirrors, nothing. One night I decided to stay alert. I sat up straight, eyes fixed on the glass. Camera feed pulled up beside me. 2:33 a.m., right on cue. There he was. But not on the cameras, just in the reflection. And this time, he stopped walking. He turned. Not in real life, in the reflection, like he was looking at me. I spun around, nothing, just lobby chairs and silence. When I looked back at the glass, he was standing directly behind me. My own reflection showed me sitting, and him inches away. I didn't move, I didn't breathe. Then the lights above me flickered and the lobby went ice cold. When I blinked, he was gone. I told my boss I wouldn't work overnights anymore. They laughed, said I was seeing things. A week later, they installed blackout blinds over the glass wall. No explanation, no mention of the man, but the new guy who replaced me. He quit 3 days in, said he saw someone staring at him from inside the reflection, someone who shouldn't have been there. Back when I worked site security for a demolition crew, we were assigned to an old abandoned mall. Mid-90s architecture, dusty fountains, torn posters for arcades and record stores that hadn't been open in decades. My job? Guard the outer perimeter, make sure no one trespassed while they prepped the interior for teardown. Every night was the same, until I heard the voice. I was doing my routine radio check with the other guards when my walkie crackled. "Help me." It was faint, childlike, a whisper under static. I paused. "Unit 3, did you say something?" Nothing. Then it came again. "They won't let me out." I asked command if someone was pranking the frequency. They said no. That channel wasn't even assigned for use. The next night, I switched radios. New frequency, same voice. "I'm still here. It's cold." I didn't sleep after that. My hands shook every time I heard the static pickup. A few nights later, the demolition team found something. Behind the old arcade, bricked off, was a small crawl space, hidden. Inside, a rusted child's backpack, torn, covered in dust. Dated 1996. There was a cracked name tag, Lena. That night, the radio spoke again, clearer than ever. "Please tell my mom, I didn't run away." I dropped the radio. I couldn't breathe. They shut down the site a week later, said there were structural concerns. I transferred out. But sometimes when I'm driving alone at night, I keep my old radio on out of habit, and sometimes I still hear her. The campus I worked at was huge, mostly quiet at night. My patrol route included checking each parking lot, especially Lot C, far from the main buildings, barely lit. That lot always gave me the creeps, but one night, it got worse. The motion lights flicked on just as I was logging the hourly check-in. I looked up at the monitor, movement in Lot C. A tall figure, standing completely still between 2 rows of parked cars. I radioed in and stepped outside. The walk to that lot always felt too long. Windless, dead quiet. When I arrived, the lights were still on, but the lot was empty. I started walking between the cars, scanning with my flashlight. Nothing. Until I saw a shadow move near the edge. I turned fast. Just a blur. A shape disappearing into the darkness. Then the motion lights turned off. And that's when I heard it. Click. Like something crawling. Not footsteps. Hands and feet on pavement. I backed toward the exit, flashlight shaking. That's when I saw it. A figure. Not walking, crawling. Low to the ground, limbs too long. Pale, bald, no face. It skittered across the far end of the lot and disappeared behind a column. I didn't chase it. I couldn't. I just stood there, frozen, as the lights flicked back on and revealed nothing. No footprints, no sound, just empty parking spots. When I got back to the office, I checked the footage. The lights activated at 2:47 a.m., but there was no figure, just the lights and my reaction. Every night after that, the lights in Lot C still turn on at 2:47. Exactly, and no one ever sees what sets them off. I was doing overnight security at a government records building. Not spooky, just stacks of paperwork and echoey hallways, or so I thought. It started during my second week. I was doing my usual sweep when I noticed a door at the end of the hallway I'd never seen before. It was marked 13B. We didn't have a room 13B. I checked the building blueprint in my logbook. It jumped from 12B to 14. But there it was. Dusty brass handle. Fluorescent light flickering above it. I radioed into dispatch. No response, just static. I felt this pressure, like the hallway had gotten longer, narrower, but I opened the door anyway. Inside was a fully furnished office. Old wooden desks, typewriters, Rolodexes. A rotary phone rang in the corner, loud, sharp. I didn't answer it. I just stood there, trying to process what I was looking at. Everything looked like it had been frozen in the 1970s. Faded memos, yellowed calendars. One desk even had a steaming cup of coffee, still warm. And on the wall, hung crookedly, was a black and white photo of the staff. Everyone was staring at the camera, except one man. He was staring out of the frame, right at me. I backed out and shut the door. The next morning, I brought the building supervisor down. The hallway was normal. No door, no room, just blank wall and white paint. I swore I wasn't lying. I even described the layout and furniture in perfect detail. He went pale. Then he said, "Room 13B burned down. 1973. Faulty wiring. Everyone inside. Didn't make it." I tried to laugh it off, but I knew what I saw. And every now and then, when I'm walking past that same hallway, I swear I hear the phone ringing. I work security at a high-security biotech facility. 24-hour surveillance, triple authentication, and a digital log of every person who entered and exited. Everything was accounted for. Every ID swipe, every step. That's why it made no sense. I first noticed it during a routine audit. Visitor ID 0000. Check-in time 3:02 a.m. No badge number, no photo, no name, just 0000. I thought it was a glitch. I went back through the system. Same entry, same timestamp, every single night, 3:02 a.m. No record of an exit, just check-in. I reviewed the camera footage. Nothing, no doors opening, no alarms, no heat signatures, just me, sipping coffee at the front desk. I brought it up to the site manager. He brushed it off. Ghost entry, he called it. System hiccup. But it didn't stop. After 3 weeks of this, I stayed late. I sat by the glass entryway, eyes fixed on the double doors. And then, right at 3:02 a.m., they opened. Not slowly. They slammed open. The air turned freezing. My breath fogged up in front of me. And then the automatic lights shut off. All of them. My screen blinked out. Only one thing flashed in red. Visitor ID 0000. Checked in. I drew my flashlight, swept the room. No one was there. Until I turned to look at the glass wall behind me. There was a handprint, pressed from the inside. I turned back. Nothing. The next day, I found something else in the log. Visitor ID 0000. Checked out 3:09 a.m. And I swear to you, I never saw the doors open again. They say the night shift is quiet, peaceful, but sometimes it's when the world forgets the rules and something else punches in. I've been the Tales Keeper. Until next time, keep your lights on and your security cams rolling.